Today, I decided I was going to share some of my stuff that I did at IOP because there's some people at my channel that have some anxiety problems just like I do. So I thought it'd be nice to share some of the stuff that I do. I don't need that. That's like, what is that? This is like introduction to anxiety. Maybe I should do that first. So this is the anxiety introduction that I think I did this like the second to last day. So it says, anxiety is the body's natural response to events interpreted as threatening. Without any anxiety, you would probably make bad decisions, like driving too fast on the highway. Driving too fast on the highway. However, too much anxiety can lead to avoidance or unpleasant physical, emotional, and cognitive symptoms. So they had us name like 3 things that trigger my anxiety, 3 physical symptoms that I have when feeling anxious, 3 thoughts that I have when I'm feeling anxious, and 3 things I do to cope with feeling anxious. So I'm going to do one from each. One of the 3 things that trigger my anxiety is getting a lack of sleep. If I don't sleep a lot, then I tend to get like really nervous during the day because I'm like not functioning well when I'm tired. Oh my gosh. Sorry. And then one of my physical symptoms I get is shaking. You know, sometimes your hands will shake when you get too stressed or nervous. Yeah. And one of the thoughts I have when I'm feeling anxious is like, why won't it go away? Or what if I start crying? Or what if I get sick? Because when you're nervous, you tend to not like regular nervous. If you're anxious, sometimes you'll feel nauseous. You'll feel like things aren't real. And usually I first thought, like when I thought things weren't real during my anxiety, I was like, is this normal? Do I need help? And then I'm like, oh, I found out it's normal to feel like nothing's real and stuff when you're nervous. So that's the introduction to anxiety. And that was a really cool thing that we did. These are the next thing that I was thinking about sharing. I was trying to find it. It was like being mindful. Here, what is mindfulness? Because being mindful is a really good coping skill. And I decided I'm going to try to do this more when I'm anxious because it seems like a really good help. Have you ever noticed that like when you're doing something quite familiar and repetitive tasks, like driving your car or vacuuming, that your mind is often miles away thinking about something else? You may be fantasizing about going on vacation or worrying about an upcoming event or like thinking about any number of things. In either case, you're not focusing on your current experience and you're not really in touch with the here and now. This way of operating is often referred to as the automatic pilot mode. Mindfulness is the exact opposite of the automatic pilot mode. It is about experiencing the world as firmly in here and now, and the mode is referred to as the being mode. It offers a way of freeing oneself from automatic and unthoughtful ways of thinking or responding. So like, say you're washing your car and you're just thinking about, oh my gosh, what's going to happen tomorrow? Like, what if, say you have a meeting tomorrow. And you're like, oh my gosh, what if my meeting doesn't work? And then you're just like not focusing on what you're doing now. You're not enjoying the time that you're doing now. So if you're like doing something and you're worrying about something else, try to like ease away from thinking about something else. Like, focus on like, what does something around you, like what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Does it make noise? Just like try to focus on something that's around you and not something that's like in your head, you know? So I did something like this. I need to find it. I have a lot of papers. We did it. We went to like a garden in the hospital and we had to like write down things that we saw. We had to like pay attention to the surroundings and stuff. This is a safety behavior. Okay, I probably shouldn't have came out here in the windy, but I'm gonna keep that mindfulness out. I'm gonna keep this out too. What is anxiety? Because that'll probably also help. And this was about exposures. Give me 1 second. trying my best. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't really mind about keeping them in order. This is my speech I had to do. Oh my god, where is it? I really hope I didn't like leave it somewhere. I think I did. This is like a sleeping schedule thing. I guess this is like something kind of like it. Okay, stay still. Stay still. This was kind of like the mindfulness, the self-soothing. It says when we experience intense emotions, we can use our senses and our physical body to regain a feeling of calm and create a feeling of happiness to reduce the intensity of emotion. So like your favorite sight, your favorite sound, your favorite taste, your favorite smell, your favorite thing to touch, and like your favorite movement. So yeah. Or like, these are like sight, sound, taste, smell, touch movements that help you calm down. And like do those when you're nervous. I wish I would have found that when we went to the garden and did our favorites. Because I really would have loved to share those. But like, we had to focus like, what is something in my surrounding that makes me happy? What is something in my surrounding that's my favorite color? And you know, kind of like that. Like, what does something in your surrounding that, like, something that feels like rough and then something that feels soft in your surrounding? So like, yeah, it was kind of like that. A lot of stuff is on this mindfulness thing. I'll have to, this is how to become mindful. Mindfulness is a skill that takes time to develop. It's not easy. And like any skill, it requires a certain level of effort, time, patience, and ongoing practice. Mindfulness can be taught in a number of ways. Meditation is one of the key techniques used in mindfulness training, but not the only technique. Contact your mental health professional for further information on mindfulness training and whether it may be suited for your needs. I don't think that'll work, but you could probably look up some ways to do that. Oh, here we go. So I was waiting for my brother to leave. This would be awkward to be like, what are you doing? Like, I'm helping people. Okay. So yeah, these are examples, finally. One is observing. The first major element of mindfulness involves observing your experience in a manner that is more direct and sensual, rather than being analytical. Some of these words are big. Like, I don't think they should use such big words if you're trying to, like a teenager trying to understand it. Yeah. A natural tendency of the mind is to try to think about something rather than directly experience it. Mindfulness aims to shift one's attention. Wait. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I fumble my words. Mindfulness aims to shift one's focus of attention away from thinking to simply observing thoughts. Yeah, thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. Example, touch, sight, sound, smell, taste. What's like gentle and curiosity, you know? Yeah. And this one is describing. Like, pick something around your surroundings. Like, I'm just gonna do this paper. This paper has white, green, a little bit of black, and it's got some pictures on it. And it feels really soft around and on the inside, but on the outside it's kind of sharp and rough. You know, like describing stuff. Trying to think about it in your mind. Another thing is like participating fully. Like, try to notice all aspects of whatever task or activity you're doing and do it with full care and attention. Like, especially when you're doing your homework. Like, focus a lot on your homework. then it'll kind of ease you away from other thoughts. I know homework's boring, but like there's more things like than homework, like drawing too, I guess. And focusing on one thing at a time. Like, don't just think about, oh, the grass is green and so is that and that and that, because that might make your brain trigger some stuff. I don't know. Anyways, that was being mindfulness. It's a lot of stuff on there. If I didn't explain it fully and you still don't really understand it, you can probably look it up. Just look up what is mindfulness. Finally, what is anxiety? This is going to be the last one I'm going to do today because I don't want to make this video like 50 minutes long describing everything. Okay, so what is anxiety? Anxiety disorders can be, whatever that word is, can be like taken, I guess, as an exaggerated pattern of fearful respondents. Like, people will be like, you'll be like, I'm anxious, I feel really anxious, I need a break. Or like, I feel like I'm gonna explode, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, just calm down, take a breather, you're just overreacting. Anxiety is like being nervous, but like 10 times worse. It's like nervousness, but you can't control it. Like, it happens a lot. So, fear is composed of psychological, cognitive, and behavioral elements. Oh, here is a really good example. I've been told this a lot about anxiety. It says, we think of our sympathetic nervous system, the fight, flight, freeze, stress response, as like functioning like an alarm system. The alarm has become hypersensitive in individuals with anxiety-related disorders and must be recalibrated. Okay, so how do I explain this? You know how sometimes cars have alarms, right? And they go off when someone is breaking in or like getting too close. Do you ever realize that sometimes those alarms go off for no reason? Yeah, like regular people that don't have anxiety disorders, they get nervous over really, like, I guess, stuff that makes sense to get nervous over. For what people with anxiety disorders, sometimes they get nervous for no entire reason and they're just overthinking too much. And that causes them to have an anxiety attack or a panic attack. So that's kind of like one of them. This is like the CBT triangle. The stressful situations equal thoughts, and then the thoughts turn into feelings, and then the feelings turn into behaviors, and the behaviors are like sensations and stuff. The cognitive triangle shows how thoughts, emotions, and behaviors affect one another. This means changing your thoughts will change how you feel and behave, changing your behavior. That kind of makes sense. Some of this stuff I don't really understand. I'm just trying to explain it so people they'll know how to deal with their anxiety better and like help like distinguish it and stuff. Maybe I will do one more. I also want to go over the anxiety types. I need to find it though. I really hope I can find it. Because there's like 4 different anxiety types. Not 4 different anxiety types, but like there's 4 different things anxiety makes you do, like 4 different behaviors. There could be more, but these are like 4 of the main ones. I found out the first day we did this, I found out my anxiety causes the behavior of passive aggressive. Some of you may have heard that, some of you may not. There's passive aggressive, passive, assertive, and just aggressive. I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, here's some like facts. Our brains are composed of 89 million neurons constantly firing. I don't really know what neurons are. We have about 60,000 or 80,000 thoughts every day. 80% are negative and 95% are repetitive. Every time you have the same thought, you increase the chances of having it again. So like if you think, I hate myself, and then you say, I hate myself again, like later, then you're most likely going to keep saying that in your head. Here we go. What's your communication style? It's a communication style. So, like, the passive. These are, like, first ones. Passive is, like, these are, like, examples of a passive behavior. I try to push my feelings away rather than expressing them to others. I worry that expressing myself will cause others to be angry with me or to not like me. I often hear myself saying, I don't care, or it doesn't matter, when I do care and it actually does matter. I try not to rock the boat, keeping quiet because I don't want to upset others. I often go along with other people's opinions because I don't want to be different. So, like, this is kind of like trying to be like everyone else. Trying not to worry them and make them think differently of you because you're afraid that they'll think you're weird or you're different from them. So that's what passive is. I guess it's like extremely self-conscious, I think. This one's aggressive. This is like, I guess some of these are involved with like anger issues caused by anxiety and stuff. I am concerned with getting my own way regardless of how it affects others. I often yell, swear, or use other aggressive means of communicating. My friends are often afraid of me. I don't really care if others get what they want as long as my needs are met. And I've heard others say that I have it's my way or the highway attitude. I used to be this way when I first had my anxiety. I didn't care how upset it made people. As long as I was comfortable, I was fine, in a good mood. But that's not really healthy. Yeah. I'm more passive aggressive though. So like you get really emotional and your emotions get out of control. And sometimes if you get like anxious to the point where like you get so mad at others because you're really irritable. Because sometimes anxiety, it causes you to be really angry and like ticking, about to explode. So like aggressive is like a really big example of that ticking time bomb behavior. This one's passive aggressive, the one that I'm pretty sure that I have. Because I had 5 in number 3. I had all of them. I have a tendency to be sarcastic in conversations with others. This example is like joking about your anxiety. Like, you make jokes out of it or something. You're like, I'm so dramatic. I wasn't even that nervous, to be honest. I was just overreacting. Ha ha ha. I'm such a big baby, you know? Kind of. I tend to give people the silent treatment when I'm angry with them. I often find myself saying one thing but thinking another, and I'm generally reluctant to express my emotions and words I'm reluctant to express my emotions in words, resorting instead to aggressive behaviors like slamming doors. This is, it's a little bit of passive and aggressive mixed. I try to get my message across in more subtle ways for the fear of that expressing myself will cause others to be angry with me or stop liking me. I was a little bit of passive and passive aggressive. I got 4 in passive and 5 in passive aggressive, so. I'm trying not to brag. I don't know if it sounds like I'm bragging or not. But I guess passive aggressive is more like you're self-conscious, but like to the point where it makes you angry. I don't know. And then assertive. You're really fancy about it and you're really direct. This is kind of like everyone else, I guess. Or this is kind of being like really, really selfless. I believe that I have the right to express my opinions and emotions. When I'm having a disagreement with someone, I can express my emotions clearly and honestly. In communication with others, I treat them with respect while also respecting myself. I listen closely to what other people are saying, sending the message that I'm trying to understand their perspective. I try to negotiate with other people if we have different goals, rather than focus on only getting my own needs met. So like I said, this is kind of being more, if they're happy, I'm happy kind of way. And aggressive is kind of like, if I'm happy, everyone should be happy. And passive is like, I'm not happy as long as they're not happy, if they're not happy. Or like, it doesn't matter if I'm happy as long as they're happy, kind of way. You know? And passive aggressive is like, I should be happy, but only if they're happy, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, that's all I'm going to do for today. I know I said I was going to do it yesterday, but I had a lot of work to do, so I couldn't get it yet. But I met all my work today, so I decided I'm going to go outside in the big old nature, get in a really comfortable mindfulness position, and speak. So yeah. I hope this helped a little bit, or at least kind of gave you a more... Yay! I know my anxiety a little better. But anyways, this, if you want to find this paper, you can probably just look up what's your communication style. Or if it comes up as something weird, like take a test, do like anxiety related. What's your communication style for like anxiety? And then, or you can just look up like passive, aggressive, and assertive, and I guess it would also come up. But I'm gonna keep this up here so you can like see it. So that's what the title is. There's passive, aggressive, and assertive. So make sure you remember those if you want to see them. Anyways, I really hope this helped, and I hope you guys really like this and want more. If so, make sure to like and comment, and I will definitely do a part 2. Bye!